going on, Kind of Funny best friends? It's Snowbike Mike and Mike from Rare. Of course, we have a very special Kind of Funny Xcast for you. A little bit different, not at the podcast set, not really a podcast. It's just me. And of course, the creative director of Sea of Thieves, Mike Chapman, back again to celebrate the latest release of some Sea of Thieves content. It's something big. And of course, you've already seen it because it's been out for a week. The Legend of Monkey Island has now hit Rare's biggest thing happening in Sea of Thieves. Of course, Mike, it's great to see you again. You and I get to come together and celebrate all the time. How are you?
I'm doing incredibly well. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it's been great to see the reception to this first tale, which I get the pleasure of taking you through. But yeah, like it was like one of my best memories of like the launch of A Pirate's Life was jumping on with you guys and having that awesome little session and sharing in the enthusiasm for what we'd done with Pirates of the Caribbean. And like you say, we're back with another cool collaboration, but and another one like genuinely so close to our hearts. Like Monkey Island, like so many fans of games out there, means so much to us. It's meant so much to us on Sea of Thieves. So the chance to, if we've finished the first part, I get to enjoy it now with you. So this is going to be a privilege to take you through this.
Oh, thanks, Mike. Yeah, for everybody watching and of course listening out there, this is a little bit different than our normal podcast setting where we sit down and kind of talk about our experience. No, today me and Mike are jumping on board and we're going on a voyage. We're going to go on a journey, and Mike is going to show off the first tall tale with me, which I'm pretty excited about. Kind of a different setting for you and I. So everybody that's watching, get comfortable, enjoy, and of course, I'm sure I will ask Mike all of the questions that you want to know throughout this. So, Mike, let's set the stage before we hit the ship. What are we gonna do? Where are we? What's happening right now?
So we're going to pick up the story where we're going to meet a new character at the outpost where we spawn in, and that character is Captain Kate Capsize, and she's a character Monkey Island fans might remember from the second game. And if you played a collaboration with Disney for A Pirate's Life, there was a little Easter egg in that first tale that seeded the idea that Captain Kate had followed Guybrush and Elaine Threepwood to the Sea of Thieves. Guybrush and Elaine are on their honeymoon somewhere in the Sea of Thieves, but in classic style, not everything's gone as expected. They're lost somewhere in the Sea of Thieves, and we're going to go and pick up their trail. So this is a story that brings, you know, those beloved characters, that wonderful world of Monkey Island with all the charm and the humor. We're going to bring it to Sea of Thieves, and this is the first tale where we get to go and experience Mêlée Island in immersive first person for the very first time with that Sea of Thieves art style.
Oh man, Mike, I'm smiling from ear to ear. Let's start it up. And cool. It's always cool to hear you say that, right? Like bringing in new toys into the sandbox of Sea of Thieves, right? Like this is so exciting. I think about A Pirate's Life and what that was like, bringing in those characters. Now I'm excited to see what you guys have done here. A big collaboration, of course, as well. LucasArts and Disney. Congratulations again on getting a big partnership there.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful. I think when you think about like pirates in gaming, or just pirate worlds, pirate fantasy worlds, I think in the gaming space, people will think of Sea of Thieves, but I think just broader in entertainment, Pirates of the Caribbean obviously is huge as an example of a fantastical pirate world. But also in games like Monkey Island is, you know, decades of love for that franchise, and you know we're big fans at Rare. So kind of going back to that Easter egg that we put in A Pirate's Life, I mean that was the first time we were working with Disney, but we wanted to show our love for Monkey Island. So that was the first time we made that first connection with the team at Lucasfilm Games, and they were so passionate about our ideas of really going to town on this little Easter egg we put in that first A Pirate's Life tall tale, and definitely gave us thoughts afterward in terms of, they were a really cool team to work with, and they really liked our thinking with what we could do with potentially Monkey Island and Sea of Thieves. So that was a little idea that got stuck there, and immediately almost started thinking about what would a story that really did Monkey Island justice, what would that look like in Sea of Thieves? So almost immediately after A Pirate's Life, like the cogs are whirring, thinking, how can we do this and how can we do it justice?
I can't wait to see that and talk about that with you, because what kind of story do you want to tell? How do you bring these characters in? We're all going to see the answers and of course experience it together. We are jumping in, you and I, This is the first time we've ever played together, so I get to see your pirate, how you envision yourself in the Sea of Thieves world. Always fun to see my friends in this. It's always great. I see.
Yeah, I've got kind of the surly old guy. He's seen a lot of things on the seas. He really has. He's been sailing the seas now for a long time, from the prototype to our initial launch. He's done 5 years of service on the seas. This character,
a long time.
He's seen
like.
a lot. Yeah, but now he's kind of got the LeChuck outfit on as well, of course, just to
nice touch
celebrate.
There, Mike. I like that. Okay. Well, of course, I'm
You're
rocking
pretty
my
cool
gear.
as well.
Hey, I got my gear on, Mike. I'm looking very good.
Yeah,
of course,
you're looking good.
I've traveled the seas to get this gear right here, and I also have my incredible pet, the Blue Jay, Courage. Courage the Blue Jay is my favorite around, so he'll come join us on the boat, I'm sure.
Oh, lovely.
All right, Mike, where to? Let's do it.
Let's head down. Let's head down to the jetty, and you'll see this new character.
There it is.
So here she is. This is Captain Kate, and she's got the sails of the ship that you saw in that Easter egg, kind of continuing that story. And you see the wanted poster there.
Sweet wanted posters, right? Oh yeah.
She's on the trail of Guybrush Threepwood, and fans of the Monkey Island series will know that in the second game, Guybrush framed this character, Captain Kate, and she was wrongly imprisoned, and she's had a vendetta ever since. So with Guybrush and Elaine, that idea that they, after the end of the third game, what if they took their honeymoon in the Sea of Thieves, and they've almost been invited to our pirate world, R&R, they've got Athena's fortune at their disposal, come and have fun in the pirate paradise of Sea of Thieves, but Captain Kate has followed them here, and seemingly the Guybrush and Elaine have gone missing, and we get to pick up the trail. So this character hosts all three of the tales that make up the Legend of Monkey Island. First tale is live now, which we're about to play, but really excited to go in that with you. Next month we've got the second tale, and then in September we've got the finale, the grand finale. So you can kind of see next to Captain Kate, we've got the first tall tale book, and the first tale is called The Journey to Mêlée Island. So I feel like, should I do the voice? No, I can't do the voice. By request of the Pirate Lord, a journey to the Sea of the Damned is underway, as is a hunt for the missing pirate of some renown. His name is Guybrush Threepwood.
Bravo, Mike. Bravo, Mike.
That wasn't the voice. That was my voice.
That was good. That was very good. Should we vote? Shall we go?
Let's vote.
Let's do it.
Let's see what she's got to say.
Hey, don't touch that. Not unless you think you're tough enough to track down the man I'm hunting. Everything I know is in that logbook. I'd find him myself if I had the money to get back on the waves. But for now, I'm just another landlubber selling tours.
Ah, Captain Capsize. I see you've already settled in and started making friends.
I don't want friends. What I want is someone willing to drag that pirate pretender back to reality. Then he can have a long and meaningful conversation with the sole of my boot.
Which won't happen unless you take the time to explain our situation. A while ago, I invited a pirate...
In comparison to what we did with the Pirate's Life, let's open with an argument. Let's have them kind of bouncing off each other, the Captain Kate and the Pirate Lord. Let's get a bit of friction in right from the start.
Though I'd also accept liar, imposter, figurehead thief.
Guybrush accepted my invitation, but his ship never arrived. After a while, I began to fear the worst. So I began making inquiries in the Sea of the Damned.
And found me stuck there, sailing in circles in my old glass-bottomed boat. Something that looked like it anyway.
A memory of yours made real by the Sea of the Damned. In that realm, people and places from long ago can come back to haunt you, mingling with all the hopes and dreams in your heart. I fear that Guybrush has become trapped in memories of his own. Memories of a distant pirate sanctuary known as Mêlée Island. If he is not rescued, he will remain sealed in a dream world for all eternity, surrounded by fragments of his past. That is why I have asked Kate to recruit pirates who are both willing and able to broach the Sea of the Damned and save Guybrush.
And then everybody here will see what a pathetic dope he really is. It's a good plan. Think they can pull it off?
I believe they can. Kate learned of Guybrush's whereabouts, but was never able to reach him. You will be sailing into uncharted territory. On Mêlée Island, things may be very different from the Sea of Thieves you know.
Which is why you should take my logbook. But don't lose it. Once Threepwood has been rescued, I'm going to make him eat every last page.
You should keep an open mind, Kate. Out here, enemies can enter the same tavern and depart as friends.
When it comes to Guybrush Threepwood, I don't need an open mind. Only a closed fist. Well, don't just stand there. Sail through that archway and find Threepwood. The logbook I gave you has everything you need to know.
All right, Mike, we got it. We got a setup. We got a mission. Here we go.
We've got a narrative. But yeah, honestly, still hearing our pirate lord say Mêlée Island gives me goosebumps. I've got to be honest with you.
How cool.
It's so cool.
Of course, now we play the fun game of like, how does the team here introduce what's going to go on inside of Sea of Thieves? We're going back through the archway. That is a nice little callback there that, of course, Sea of Thieves fans, maybe you haven't been playing a bunch of, you'll remember, just like we did before. Yeah,
that idea of, again, we started with the pirate's life, but the idea that, you know, when you die in the Sea of Thieves, you go to the Sea of the Damned. But in our lore, the Sea of the Damned is a place where all your dreams and nightmares as a pirate take on a physical reality. And that gave us that little kind of creative conceit to create locations from the Pirates of the Caribbean attraction that everybody knows and loves if you're a fan of Disney, and, you know, moments from Jack Sparrow's life. But now we get to go back there to find Guybrush Threepwood, and Guybrush seems to be lost, but as the Pirate Lord was saying, there seems to be a mystery about his disappearance. Like, where is he? Why is there this cursed version of Mêlée Island in the Sea of the Damned? But it all gets revealed as part of the story, and of course, maybe a certain character called LeChuck involved, classic Monkey Island style.
Now, I guess the fun part of this is, let's talk about the story. How do you and the team come at this? Right, you talk about 3 games, decades of history, of fandom. How do you guys come at this and say, okay, well, what do we want to do inside of our world?
Well, I think you'd think just being a fan would be enough, even a huge fan as I am of The Secret of Monkey Island, but it really is trying to find the right story that makes sense for the Sea of Thieves. It puts our world on a pedestal. It's going to give Monkey Island fans what they want in terms of that authenticity, and of course it goes without saying, the chance to go to some of these locations in first person is just, we knew that the idea of that would be magical. You know, it's like, if you're a Star Wars fan, walking around Star Wars land is just this magical experience, isn't it? But what if you could feel that as a Monkey Island fan, to truly feel like you are in those locations? But the idea of, if we're about to hear him, but if Guybrush comes to our world and LeChuck follows him, something that was really cool that appealed to us was the idea that, what if Sea of Thieves gave Guybrush everything he ever wanted? Like, fans of Monkey Island know that Guybrush was this wannabe pirate. He wanted to be a pirate legend. He wanted to be the mighty pirate. And Sea of Thieves is about we as players, we're pirate wannabes that become pirate legends in the Sea of Thieves. So what if Guybrush got everything he ever wanted, but it was actually LeChuck using the magic of the Sea of Thieves against Guybrush? The idea of, what if LeChuck was almost upgraded if he came to the Sea of Thieves world, that he could use the magic of the Sea of the Damned to what we're about to see, which is a fantasy version of Mêlée Island. He's effectively put Guybrush in the pirate matrix. He's put him in this fantasy version of Mêlée Island where he's the hero, but none of it's true. And you need to go tear that down.
Man, how fun.
So that setup kind of, we believe that gave us the opportunity to be authentic to Monkey Island, but also get to see these characters in a new context. So yeah, you'll appreciate this bit. This is the bit that still gives me goosebumps. This bit never got old, which we're about to see. So obviously we're in the green of the Sea of the Damned. All feels, if you've played A Pirate's Life, all feels quite familiar. But
oh yeah,
we get to see a cool transition. So I'll get you to enjoy that.
when I did get back to sleep, I had a very different dream. I was back where it all began, on my quest to become a legendary pirate. Back at the start of my very first adventure.
See that little shooting star?
Oh,
That
yeah.
shooting star. One of the last changes we ever made to the Legend of Monkey Island before we released it was the timing on that shooting star. It needed to be 1 second later, Mike. It really did.
Okay.
Just to land with that impact. But this is the idea of, like, fans will know, like, the very first screen you see in the original game back in 1990 was Mêlée Island at night, that beautiful starry night sky. And a big part of our creative pitch to the Lucasfilm team was, what if you're in Sea of Thieves, it's immersive, right? What if you were living that moment at the deck of your own ship and you were truly sailing into the docks at Mêlée Island? But yeah, this is kind of the first moment that we just really wanted to blow players away with how we brought it to life.
How cool. How much fun is that is right. That's so cool that you guys get to think about the small details like that of coming into the world, experiencing this in a whole new perspective and a new moment. Of course, we are a week after launch. How has the reception been so far for you and the team?
Oh, it's been. Don't get me wrong. I think we were hopeful that, you know, there's a nice crossover between Monkey Island fans and Sea of Thieves fans. But if you're a fan of Monkey Island, that you'd recognise the authenticity and how this is it truly is a love letter to the world that, you know, Lucasfilm Games created. Like, we just got so much reverence for this incredible pirate fantasy world, but also for Sea of Thieves fans. Crucially, how can we replicate that point and click gameplay, but looking through your eyes in first person, make it feel tangible and immersive, but it feels like those puzzles that you remember from those old point and click games. So doing something very new for Sea of Thieves while being faithful to Monkey Island, and honestly, that quality seems to have landed so well with their players. I mean, it's actually quite emotional, the first night, seeing the reception and how players were getting on with the experience, but people seem to have really, really gravitated towards it, and it seems to have resonated with them. So yeah, I like over the moon, really.
That's awesome.
How well it's gone down. But the team has, like, you know, this project has just ignited a passion in the team. I probably said something very similar to you when we were creating A Pirate's Life.
Yes.
I mean, there's so many fans of Monkey Island at Rare on the Sea of Thieves team. So, like, we were all, like, just so blown away as we were working together, finishing this stuff up. But I mean, this, like, what we're experiencing now, being on the jetty in Mêlée Island, and fans will know we're coming up to the Scumm Bar. But just getting to experience it in 3D for the very first time, and, you know, you can look through this little window and you can see there it is. You can see the 3 pirate leaders, and again, you just feel like you're not just kind of looking at a world, you're actually inhabiting it.
How cool.
So put so much time and effort into this experience, living up to your expectations, because where we are now, this jetty is the first thing almost the first thing that you see in the very first game. You kind of come down off the lookout. You meet the lookout for the first time. You walk across this bridge to the Scumm Bar, and, you know, you're immersed in that world. But here we are, recreated in first person, and you can see this little clue, a little election poster for Governor Guybrush in the first game. Again, this is real deep lore now. This is a deep cut, Mike. But in the first game, that poster was to re-elect Governor Marley, Governor Elaine Marley. And this is first little clue that, why is Guybrush the governor?
Okay.
That's all part of the story we're going to tell. But let's walk on into the Scumm Bar.
Man, look at that, walking in here. Cool as can be. Oh, no way. How fun.
So yeah, you can talk to the characters, and you'll see we've got fully voiced VO now. So fans of Sea of Thieves will know that we had kind of limited VO for the NPC interactions before, but now you've got full voiceover for these characters.
That's great.
So all the dialogue, he's smoking dialogue. You see the character I'm standing near over here, Cobb, he was there right in the very first game. He's got the Ask Me About Loom badge, which is a really old joke, which fans will recognise. Like, Loom was an old point-and-click adventure from Brian Moriarty back in the day. But yeah, we had to preserve that joke. We had to.
That's great. That's so cool. So, who are some of these voices? Are there people from Rare doing these voices? Did you reach out to voice actors around the globe to fill in? What's kind of the fun of doing this?
We did. So we've got, with a few exceptions, we've got the full Monkey Island cast returning.
Wow.
So characters in this, in the Scumm Bar, are actually the original actors that would have re-recorded their lines for the special edition.
Holy cow, Mike.
Monkey Island special edition. So those actors have come back to reprise their roles, which is surreal, really. Like, I mean, the recording sessions for this blew my mind. I mean, it was just so surreal to have characters that you have heard from your favorite game, like in Sea of Thieves, but like characters like Cobb, it's actually Matthew Mercer from Critical Role.
No way. That's cool as can be.
That's Matt Mercer, and and there's some of the actors from Critical Role, some of the performers from Critical Role that are in this as well. But yeah, Matt played Cobb in Return to Monkey Island. So you can see, look on the table there. There's some pieces of 8 we might be able to steal later on, and we might be able to use some grog to. Maybe we can get these guys drunk a little bit, so we can steal their coin. But as you move through the bar, you'll hear the music change as well. So we walk to the back, we'll be greeted by the pirate leaders, and the music will change.
And they look good. This is cool.
And there's that character from A Pirate's Life, the first tale, the Cursed Captain. He's above the fireplace now. They're the skulls of scum. They're the entertainment in the bar.
But never mind all that. You'll be here to undertake the 3 trials, I'll wager.
The 3 trials!
Aye, that takes me back. I want to be a mighty pirate. Where do I collect me hat?
Well, if you're here to prove your worth to us, too bad. We're no longer in charge.
Of course, giving us our next possible storyline. What, are we going to follow some of this, or what do we got going on here now, Mike?
Yeah, so these are pretty much kind of giving us that bit of exposition that Guybrush Threepwood, the character we all know, he's actually the legend of Monkey Island. They think he's this. Here you go. He's the Scourge of the Caribbean, master of 1,000 insults. Hold his breath for 60 minutes. Yeah, he's the greatest pirate who ever lived to these characters.
Okay, that's cool.
Which, of course, is not true if you're a fan of Monkey Island. So it's something to do with the magic of the Sea of the Damned that's getting them to say that. Right, we can take a look in the kitchen.
Gotta have.
Are you talking to the dog? You're talking to Spiffy.
Come on! You knew I was gonna go over there right away, Mike.
Yeah,
awesome.
So cool. That's David Collins as Spiffy, reprising his role as Spiffy from the special edition. So yeah, if you come into the kitchen, you hear the music change again. And this is Yuri Lowenthal playing the chef.
Hey,
no way!
His role from Return to Monkey Island. Yeah.
How cool!
And if you ask him if there's that you're looking for work. If you tell him you're looking for work, he might give us a little clue.
I want something fiery and hearty. I'm just tired and don't know what the delay is all about. Just like the legend of Monkey Island himself. Too bad I'm still missing one of the ingredients. Can't help you there. I've just hired a new assistant, and they should be starting today. Assuming they show up for work. Don't know what the delay is all about. But I hope they remember to pick up their uniform from the general store.
So, like, generally speaking, we've tried to. And the goal was to kind of replicate those non-linear puzzles, or the feeling of non-linear puzzles that you get in those point-and-click adventure games. So there's kind of puzzles where you need to combine solutions. But generally speaking to the characters, exploring the world, allows you to build a mental list of what you can potentially accomplish. So, as you saw, like talking to the chef there, he's expecting an assistant to turn up.
Yep.
And there's a uniform in the Scumm Bar. So yeah, that's one of our little objectives that we've picked up along the way.
Okay, I like that.
Maybe we can go find that outfit, and maybe, I guess the implication, maybe we can put on a bit of a disguise and pretend we're the assistants. Yeah.
Mike, I like the way your mind and the team's minds are working right there. Now, that's fun, right? A different way of storytelling and the puzzles coming at you here in this. What was that like on both sides, right? Making it so it feels like the old school days where you are mentally putting down that checklist, but also now, here today, making sure people understand, well, what do I really need to do, right? What if I get lost, Mike? What are those helpful hints that people can still find if they do get lost and they don't know what to do?
Yeah, I think that that feeling you get where you're presented with information as a player, you just make that little mental leap and you solve something, and it just feels so satisfying. We really wanted to safeguard that feeling, but reward players for their exploration. So just being in this wonderful new location, speaking to the characters, exploring, you're going to get the information you need and be rewarded for exploration. So even these characters over here, like these three characters were in the original game, and these are I love their name, by the way, Mike. Like they're the men of low moral fiber.
Yes.
I mean, and they're essentially the gossips. They kind of hear all the rumors on the island. That we actually use these as almost tutorial characters to give you little hints for what you need to do in the game. So trying to keep all that game direction really immersive.
That's cool.
That's another way to point players, and they'll talk about there's you might see pieces of 8 around the town. This is that you can't spend Sea of Thieves gold in this place. Like, we almost turn that into a joke. You actually need to use the currency from Monkey Island. So hidden away in the barrels and little lids here and there, you'll find pieces of 8 which we can use to buy things from the general store. But I want to show you something really cool. If you come over here, you come over to this barrel here. If you take a seat on this barrel, you'll get something quite cool happen.
This unfriendly character handles some of the more unsavory deals on Mêlée Island. He's a useful guy to know. I wonder where he got that fancy coat.
Okay. Little touch right here. Maybe a hint on who I should talk to.
Yeah, I mean, that view you got there. We really want to invite players to do that one-to-one comparison with the original game.
Cool.
So that view there is like a Guybrush memory. It's Guybrush telling you what he saw when he was part of that first game storyline, but it's actually giving you the same view as the original. So there are these memoir spots hidden around the town where it frames your view just perfectly with what the screen would have been in that 2D point-and-click adventure.
Dang, Mike,
really
that's
getting
well
people
done.
to make that comparison.
Yeah, that's really cool. How many of those do you have? Can you share that number with me? How many of those do you have?
There's 10 around the town. There's
10 around the town.
And there'll be equal numbers across Tale 2 and Tale 3. So you're really getting people to, remember the original, but now get to experience it in first person.
Display models, not for sale. Hey, it's not these items. Hey, it's not. Monkey Island action figures are hot property. My latest shipment got sunk down at the docks just as it arrived. Oh, then you need an exclusive Legend of Monkey Island meet and greet ticket, one of which I just so happen to have.
I need that ticket, man. He's got the meet and greet ticket, Mike. I need that.
But I can tell just by looking at you.
A big part of Monkey Island as well, this is something that Sea of Thieves doesn't really have, but what's wonderful about the humor of Monkey Island is you get that almost self-aware, fourth wall breaking, where, very self-referential. So this idea of, in their story, Guybrush, to these characters, he's the legend of Monkey Island. So they're actually selling merchandise for Guybrush and Elaine. So if you look down, you've got these little wooden action figures of Guybrush, and you've got the 3-headed monkey plush toy. So a 3-headed monkey, a little joke from Monkey Island, but there's a little plush toy there. And there's even like a little history book that you can buy that basically tells you the fake history of Guybrush and why he's a legend. So just really trying to be playful with that self-aware humor. So you probably got another little task there, Mike. So speaking to the citizen,
I mental noted it. I have to go back over to the docks. I got to go get his cargo he's missing now.
Let's go find his cargo.
Sweet. All right.
Let's head back down.
Man, how cool, Mike. This is really, really rad stuff that you and the team have done. Now, the exciting stuff is we have Mêlée Island right here. Come to life. We'll have 2 more Tall Tales. Is there more that you want to do? Is there more that we left out that we couldn't do with the team?
what you'll see as part of this tale. I mean, let's dive into the water and see if we can find that cargo. But like with this tale, we're really focusing on. You can go up to the lookout and you can look across the island. The whole rest of the island is kind of shrouded in this mysterious fog. You've got the whole town that we can explore freely. In the second tale, we push back that mist, and the entirety of Mêlée Island, probably the biggest island we've ever created in Sea of Thieves, is completely unlocked as a free roam location.
Wow.
So as part of this tale, we're focused on meeting Guybrush for the first time, understanding more about the mystery. In the second tale, you've got the whole of Mêlée Island, the circus tent, stands, Captain Smirk, insult sword fighting, all of that gameplay you remember from the game unlocked. And in the third tale, we actually go to Monkey Island itself. So every tale showcases completely unique locations. And like, to go back to your question of like, is there stuff we've left out? I think what was probably the most pleasurable part of creating this is that real focus on that non-linear gameplay that we're experiencing now, where you're building that mental list, you're experiencing almost point and click gameplay in first person. I think it would be lovely to create more tall tale narrative experiences like this in Sea of Thieves, but also just apply this approach to the rest of the world. I mean, it's been such a blast creating this kind of gameplay. It would also be really cool to do something else with Monkey Island in the future as well. I just think it's such a wonderful world, a wonderful set of characters. I mean, just a shout out to Craig Derrick, who's the executive producer at Lucasfilm Games, and that team. You know, they saw our passion. You know, they saw how much we loved this world, and you know, they've been a blast to work with. So, yeah, I mean, just feels like this is the start of another great adventure.
Awesome, Mike. All right, well, let's do a little co-op teamwork right now. You can work the angle. I'll tell you if you're on point or not.
Yeah,
and
cool.
we can share a moment together. Let's see, Mike. I'm liking right there. Oh, I think you know the perfect angle. That's great, Mike. I like it there.
I needed to check. I flipped that. I've only played this 100 times, maybe more. But if you come back on the dock, and then you'll have your pulley rope near you, and you can lower it down. We cut the ropes, right? So we should be able to haul this thing out of the water.
Now that's the cool part you were talking about. It's like telling these different tales and telling these smaller stories that you were kind of inspired by. Will we see more of this? And I guess is the easy question of, I assume yes, right?
In terms of Monkey Island, or
no,
just kind
in terms of just Sea of Thieves, and this approach of like puzzles and storytelling that you guys have now found with this.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable. I mean, honestly, Mike, if you come over here, your pulley rope here. I don't want to steal your thunder. I don't want to steal your thunder. But yeah, I think if you think on, we've done so many different types of narrative experience in Sea of Thieves. We did our original 9 Shores of Gold tall tales, and they were much more cerebral, much more about making those mental leaps. A lot more difficult actually than where we've landed with these tall tales. With A Pirate's Life, we had, I mean, you played them, right?
Yes.
They were much more about that cinematic thrill ride, really giving you that Pirates of the Caribbean swashbuckling feel. Whereas this, we're trying to feel faithful to Monkey Island, where they are a bit more non-linear. They're about inhabiting the spaces and exploring, working out all these various ways you can interact with the world and the characters. But I think across those 3 experiences, we've done like so many different, explored so many different ways of bringing narrative to Sea of Thieves, and we've pushed our tools and our tech forward as part of that. So honestly, is this a nautical reference? The world is our oyster. Well, it's kind of sea themed, but yeah, the world is our oyster, right? In terms of like where we could go with telling narrative in the world, and like fully voiced NPCs now. We've got NPC, I'm using all the buzzwords, but like character pathing in the game. So rather than just enemies, but in the second tale, Stan, he walks around. He's almost got his own AI brain. He reacts to you. He cracks jokes with you. He walks over to you to try and sell you these ships in the second tale. So we're really pushing what we can do with tall tales forward, which is a wonderful thing. So you probably saw there we're missing a tool as well.
Missing a tool, Mike is right.
A tool required to open cargo crate. So let's go.
So add that to my mental checklist right there. Like, I'm looking for a tool. I got the cargo now. Still looking for a possible chef coat. And you're interacting with the world, opening up some boxes over here.
Yeah, just see if we can find any Find any pieces of 8. You never know. You never know. But
yeah, I think that's the really cool part, Mike, when you talk about your team and what Sea of Thieves has become over the years, right? Learning and growing on top of different experiences. And you guys have shown a wide range of what you can bring to the table and what kind of fun can be had inside the world. I think it's really, really rad. I'm going to steal that from you, Mike. So
yeah, there you go. There you go.
That
there you go. Let's see if we can find
there.
a few more. Oh, look, there's a single coin here. Grab that single coin.
Thank you.
Some careless pirates left that there. What we got in here? Anything? Nothing in there. Keep our eyes peeled. But I mean, the team at Rare have heard me say this so many times, but I think when people use the term like live service, but live service as a kind of business strategy for us. Live service has always been about the ability to keep evolving this game that we love so much over time. And back in 2018, when we launched Sea of Thieves, we never would have dreamed we would have had the opportunity to work with Disney on Pirates of the Caribbean or work with Lucasfilm Games on The Legend of Monkey Island. I mean, these would have been dreams for us as fans of pirate worlds. And I think what's lovely about Sea of Thieves is it's been able to have this social life. It's lived on beyond its initial release, and we get to perfect the tools and learn together as a team. And like people that we work with together on Sea of Thieves, these have become friends for life. Like we've become such this close-knit team by going on this journey together. And we probably wouldn't have had that opportunity if we hadn't have been able to keep making Sea of Thieves for these last 5 years. So like it's a pleasure to be able to do things like this and bring experiences that maybe our fans would never have expected, really surprise them with what we can do with Sea of Thieves, and there's more of that to come, I'm sure.
That's really rad, Mike. And there's 2 pieces I want to talk about with that. I think, when you talk about the partnerships and the friendships you all have built through your game, right, and getting to the point where we are now working with Disney, were there some key milestones that like you were able to prove to others out there that like this is a viable game? We do deserve a chance to work with your incredible IP and like your teams to make something special. Were there moments like that where you were like, oh, we've proven that we can do this now?
Yeah, I think the first kind of like moment of that, I think was past their first anniversary of almost having that first year out there, releasing updates. And then we got to our very first anniversary in 2019. And we added Tall Tales for the first time, something we never prototyped or originally planned to do. But it always felt like the idea of telling authored stories was something missing in the Sea of Thieves world. It felt like that was a great way to introduce people to our characters and our world. And it was actually off the back of that very first year that we met with the Disney team, and they were, I mean, this was like, I almost floated out of this room. We met the Disney team. It was E3 2019, and we met the kind of wonderful team at Disney Games, and they were huge fans of Sea of Thieves, which to me was just like mind-blowing. And I think at that first moment of realizing how big the game had become and was becoming, they were so complementary. And I think the fact that we'd created our own lore with the Tall Tales, it really felt like, well, maybe we could go a little bit further than just adding some cool rewards for Pirates of the Caribbean or some cool player cosmetics or, a Captain Jack Sparrow costume. Like, once that door opened with Disney, I think our minds just went wild with the possibility of, let's go even further. Let's tell a story that brings the two worlds together. And, and beyond that, we've had moments with, where streaming has gone incredibly popular. We've had creators, the game's popularity has exploded. 2021, when we released a Pirates Live, was another huge moment. So it just feels like we've always been building. And I think the thing I feel most passionate about is, I don't think we've ever lost sight of our creative vision. Now, this game is still about the stories that our players create. But what we're experiencing today, it's just another way for them to fall in love with the world of Sea of Thieves and experience this faithful story to Monkey Island. But at its heart, our players are the main characters, and this is just a fun pirate playground for them to have fun with their friends. So yeah, just
special.
Yeah,
that's
more
awesome,
excited,
Mike.
more excited than ever, dude. More excited than ever to keep making cool experiences in Sea of Thieves.
And then on the other one I want to talk about is games as a service, right? You bring it up, and it is such an interesting topic from all levels in the games industry, whether you're a consumer, a developer, you are watching the industry, right? Games as a service is a hot button topic, and it is a hot word, right, in here. And you guys have created something so different. You talk about that games as a service evolving and building on what you guys have created, and it doesn't feel like that normal games as a service where it is all about the battle pass, all about monetization. Oh, it's gone within a year, or man, they really struck it big. How have you guys found that different balance where it doesn't quite feel like the games as a service that we know, or that blend that you guys have now struck that's a little bit different than what we see around the industry?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first live service game Rare has ever made, and I think that approach of having a game that's as fun to watch as it is to play, having a game where we don't charge you for experiences, there's optional cosmetic purchases, but that has no bearing at all on your gameplay. We never separate players. A player who's a pirate legend can play with a brand new player. There's nothing stopping them going on adventures together. Just that approach of the more thriving our community is, the more that gives us the ability to keep making cool experiences. Like once we had that prototype back in 2015, 2014, we loved this game. We fell in love with this idea of a pirate sandbox to have all your adventures in. And we've just tried to be really careful with the decisions that we make, that we never put barriers in place that separate our players, that people can have these experiences and all this core content, Legend of Monkey Island, The Pirate's Life, all of their updates, they're all free for our players. And that's a key part of it. And having that close relationship with our community where, you know, we are the people we present to be. We are incredibly passionate about this game. We love the work that we're able to do with Sea of Thieves, and we love meeting the community and the relationships that we can forge with them. I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's because it comes from the heart. I mean, this game is a passion project, and I think in a small way that really comes across, and it shows in the experience. And our engaged players often talk about, you know, they can feel the love and craft that's poured into it, and like it's true. It's completely true, and I think that really counts for something.
You talk about that feeling, right, Mike, of like being able to capture that. Do you find that's from the security of Rare being under Microsoft, where maybe it isn't all about getting the money, or do you guys still feel like, no, it's a different feeling, right? Like, I guess what I'm getting at is like, is it because of the big corporation of Microsoft having the funding to, you know, keep you guys going instead of having to worry about really pushing monetization? What's that like for you guys over there on that side of things?
I think there's a responsibility, right, to be fiscally responsible. You know, we're in terms of, we're making the right investment in terms of what we're going after creatively and what we think is going to meaningfully push the game forwards, trying to give content that our players are asking for, but also do the things that they might not ask for and surprise them. I think what's wonderful, I mean, you know this probably more than anyone, Mike. I mean, the games that Rare has made in the past, we're always trying to do new things, very different things, maybe experimenting genres we've not experimented in before, trying to create the games that just don't exist, that the world doesn't have. And doing that as part of Xbox, where we have that support of the wider Xbox organization, we feel part of Xbox Game Studios, but Rare still fundamentally has its own identity. It allows us to not curtail our ambitions. I mean, the idea of making a shared world pirate game that we're going to service for multiple years, and we're going to add completely new functionality. We're not going to add the content that maybe is expected. We're going to surprise our players. We get to do that and work with an incredible team, do these partnerships with Disney and Lucasfilm. I think what's wonderful about being part of Rare and being part of First Party is that we get to be ambitious, and there's almost no barrier for the ideas that we can go and seize together. And that is so empowering. The fact that if you can put together a good plan that's well thought out, that has the right principles behind it, that we believe is going to create something magical for our players, we can just go after that and go craft that together. And it's the best job in the world. It really is.
Oh,
a wonderful community as well. Like we're in a fantastic position.
Yeah,
really
that's really, really special to hear that you and the team feel empowered like that, right? And I guess in an alternate dimension, alternate world, what if Rare wasn't with Microsoft? Do you still believe that you could put this product up now and still have the community behind it, still be able to do everything you're doing with that kind of feeling that you're feeling right now?
I think it would be possible, but it would be so much harder. If you think about using Azure servers and the way, Sea of Thieves at its heart is an always online connected experience where we've got these effectively floating levels, these huge complex ships that are buoyant on the water, and all the physics that need to work across a shared world in a multiplayer environment. Having a social game at its core, that we didn't plan this overtly, but the idea, Sea of Thieves was the first game in Game Pass, the first party game in Game Pass, and the idea of there's a low barrier that I can play Sea of Thieves and go to my friends. There's this great cool pirate game. Come play Sea of Thieves and be on my crew with me. It just feels like Sea of Thieves as an experience has always. I mean, some of this is luck. Some of this is things. The winds have been in our favour, which is we've always stayed in lockstep with what the platform is doing and what the ecosystem on Xbox is doing. And it's always felt like Sea of Thieves is this different game that's doing things a little bit differently, but everything that's happening as part of Xbox on the wider platform has always been completely complementary, whether that's Game Pass, whether that's be the kind of the infrastructure that we have with servers that we can leverage across Microsoft and Xbox. It's just, they're examples of how we can just worry about the things that really matter to us, which is making a cool game and doing things that are interesting creatively, because we've got all of that tech infrastructure and that knowledge and that wisdom across Xbox that we can leverage.
Yep, and that's where we are today, right now, playing this, getting to celebrate another big release and partnership, and we're having fun exploring around right now, Mêlée Island together, which I'm loving, Mike. This is awesome to get to share it with you. Of course, we're going to continue on. We are far from done. We're having some fun together. Of course, I have to ask, Mike, you know it. The kid on Twitter is going to come after me, the crab guy. He wants to know when we're going to put crabs as pets in the game. He comes after you all the time. I know he does. Have we done that yet, or when are we going to do it?
You won't have to wait too much longer. You won't have to wait too much longer.
He's going to be super excited about that, Mike. That's great.
So yeah, Mike, we found like the tools here as we talk to the characters. We learned that the jail stairs are looking a little bit worse for wear, and there's a little bit of DIY happening. So we found this hammer. Maybe we can use that to prise open that crate we found down in the docks. So if you bring that with you, and yeah, let's go prise open that cargo crate.
And now, Mike, I noticed that we have a beautiful starry night above us. Of course, I want to talk about art direction and how we jump into this world fully reimagined in 3D, right? Being able to play it in first person, but also, day and night cycles in Sea of Thieves. What am I seeing here? Will I see daytime happen? What's going on here, Mike?
Well, I mean, this is this kind of dreamy night sky and that kind of the blue lighting that you see on the buildings. That's kind of a quintessential part of, I think, players' memories of exploring Mêlée Island in the original game. So we took the opportunity to, while we're in the Sea of the Damned, is to fix it so it's always this nighttime setting. So we always feel that classic Mêlée Island feel. But what it's allowed us to do is really push the lighting, because we are a fixed time of day. We can really push the visuals.
Cool.
And I think every time we release an update like this, it's almost like it kind of captures all of the learnings from the previous years, and it really shows the team's work in its best light and where we're at currently. And I think this is no exception. This is kind of the latest visual bar in Sea of Thieves that we're setting.
That's awesome. Yeah, talking about the tech and stuff. How do you guys continue to improve upon a live service game that's always living and breathing? Is that difficult for you all to do that when you talk about like improving the overall look and fidelity and how the performance runs? What's that like, balancing that?
It is a challenge. I mean, that with all of the hardware that we support, like original Xbox One, with a most successful new IP and the part of the Xbox One generation, going back to the original Xbox One console, we still support that, all the PC hardware requirements. But there's always ways that you can perfect and master, our craft creatively, always able to eke out more value here and there. There's always an ongoing challenge around adding new systems and new features to an already live game. That does get challenging, particularly like balancing memory, performance, frame rate. Like the hard part is adding new content, but there's also 5 years worth of content in Sea of Thieves that we still want to have access to. So ensuring that we're adding new content, we're pushing the boundaries, but we also can't adversely affect everything else that's already in the game. So that is a difficult balancing act. And things get harder and harder as the game gets more complex and more kind of intertwined with each other. But we're doing it. We're doing it, and like we're always finding ways to kind of push what we can do with the visuals and the art style of Sea of Thieves and what we can do technically. And I don't see that stopping. I think it's absolutely possible that in another couple of years we'll be having a chat about another huge update to Sea of Thieves, and that moves the bar forward even further. And that's exciting. That's amazing. We never want to stay still.
This episode is brought to you by PayPal Honey, the easy way to save when shopping on your iPhone or computer. Did you know it only takes a few seconds to get it? That means if you go to add it to your laptop or iPhone right now, you could be done before this ad read is even over. And you know what else works fast? Honey's deal finding abilities. Honey is the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. When you check out, the Honey button appears. All you have to do is click Apply Coupons. You wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons it can find for that. And then if it finds a working coupon, you will find the prices drop. We've saved thousands of dollars thanks to Honey, buying costumes, props, tech over the years. Honestly, not using Honey is just silly. Honey doesn't just work on desktop, it works on your iPhone too. Just activate it on Safari, on your phone, and you get to save on the go. Getting Honey seriously only takes a few seconds, and by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this show. You can get PayPal Honey for free at joinhoney.com/kindafunny. That's joinhoney.com/kindafunny. This episode's brought to you by Shady Rays. Take on the sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures, just like Mike likes them. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. And every purchase supports the Shady Rays Impact Program, which works directly with nonprofits and their communities to empower and make adventure accessible for all walks of life, from childhood cancer patients to young adults with serious health conditions. Exclusively for y'all listening right now, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code KindaFunny for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself. The shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Again, that's shadyrays.com. Use code KindaFunny. This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. We all know life can be hard. It's so easy to get caught up in what everyone else needs from you and never take a moment to think about what you need from yourself. I know from experience how often it just seems easier to care about others and keep it moving. But when we spend all of our time giving, it can leave us feeling stretched thin and burned out. Therapy can give you the tools to find more balance in your life so you can keep supporting others without leaving yourself behind. Some of my best friends use BetterHelp and love how helpful it can be for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapist anytime for no additional charge. For more balance with BetterHelp, visit betterhelp.com/kindafunny today and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/kindafunny. BetterHelp.com/kindafunny.
I think the fun part is I now have the goods for this gentleman right here. And of course, in Sea of Thieves fashion, I'm carrying a treasure chest around to hand to this guy, which I love doing.
That's my cargo. I thought it'd be fish food by now. Looks like I'm back. This meet and greet ticket will get you an audience with the legend of Monkey Island. Only one in existence, but I'd say you've earned it.
Oh,
I'm going to save up for that monkey toy. Mike.
So we've got 22 pieces of 8 currently.
Okay. Well, we now have our meet and greet ticket as well. So
there we go.
I'm looking for a chef's outfit, and then, like we said, I have my meet and greet ticket to go see the legend, which is pretty incredible. We're just slowly working our way through. I'm keeping track of my mental checklist right now.
There we go. Do you want to check out the general store?
Yeah. Now, if you go in there, Mike, am I going to see you through this window?
You will, of course. Yeah. There we go. Look at
Oh,
that.
how cool!
Hello.
That's awesome.
I love this voice actor so much. This is Jess Harnell, who's the voice of the storekeeper, who voiced the storekeeper and one of the pirate leads in the original game. He's also the voice of LeChuck.
Really?
He's honestly so fun. The voice acting, it's just so playful. Performance.
When we talk about the voice actors, were there some that you were so pleased and excited to work with? I mean, Mike, you are a fan of this, right? Were there some where you're like, I cannot believe this is happening, that we're doing this together?
Oh, all the way through, but nothing beats. Well, our very first VO recording session was with none other than Dominic Armato, who's the voice of Guybrush Threepwood. And as someone who played those original games, obviously he played Guybrush in the Curse of Monkey Island, but then went back as part of the special editions, as part of the talkie editions, to record VO for Guybrush, to give Guybrush a voice. To be a fan of Monkey Island and then to be in a recording session where Guybrush is saying the words that we've wrote for a new Monkey Island story in Sea of Thieves, like I can't even put it into words, Mike. It was unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable.
How special. So now, my guy, he's got the chef's uniform, 45 pieces. I don't know if I have that much.
We got 22. We need to do some more work, but let's go speak to the guard. We got a meet and greet ticket. Let's go speak to this guy over here. Let's see if he lets us go speak to the governor.
And where do you think you're going? Yeah, you and everyone else on the island. The governor's mansion is off limits to anyone who hasn't got an official invitation. I booked you in for. If you can't show me something to prove you're expected, you can turn right back around and. And where do you think the governor? If you can't show. And where do you? Oh, like that'll happen anytime.
Okay, Mike. Looking up at my clock tower behind us. We're looking for it to strike a certain time.
Yeah. Well, the clock tower on Mêlée Island, it's always broken. It's stuck at 10 o'clock. You know, fans know that, so we need to get that clock to midnight. So that's another thing for our checklist. But can you hear that music coming from this alleyway?
Yeah.
Let's check it out. There's some more. See if there's any more pieces of 8 in here while we're here. A few more.
And now, are we sharing this as a team right now? These pieces of 8?
Yeah, absolutely. So these towels were designed so great solo experience. We're not in the shared world now. So no one's going to interrupt us. But crucially, if we do play in a crew, we could split up and complete objectives cooperatively and then come back together.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool.
Hey, you.
Hey, look at these guys.
Hey, you. Want to see something hilarious? There's a pack of piranha poodles in this alley that can't stand the sound of this thing. Watch. Oh, what's the matter? Can't you reach your lovely bony din-dins? All right, that's enough, you mangy mutts. Go lay down. I said that's enough. We guard the governor now, not you pathetic pooches. So get used to it. Now move along and don't start any trouble. I'm on break.
So yeah, he's like, fans may recognize. I mean, that he doesn't look very friendly, does he? He looks like maybe one of LeChuck's pirates.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, and he's got some pieces of 8 there as well, but we can't steal from him. And he's got a pair of those gunpowder gummies as well.
Hey, get your own snacks.
Can't steal those. If we check over here on the bowl, it says an empty dog food bowl. They must be starving. A little
not
clue
the
for
piranha
you.
poodles. They need some food.
Yeah, your favorite.
Now,
in here, we need to feed them.
Anyway, to get a piranha poodle as a of course, pet in the game. Also, are there some cool emotes that you've added here? I just saw him spit a dope-looking firework, kind of a crackler out there. That looks fun. Any fun emotes that we're adding into this?
Yeah, so we've got there's a kind of an update with each of the tall tales. So we've got the LeChuck ship set, pretty cool ship set based on LeChuck. That you can have the piranha poodle as a pet, should you wish to. So that's there now. And yeah, there's some emotes as part of the costume as well, and we'll be updating that with the release of each tale. So again, completely optional for our players, but there's some cool cosmetics that they can optionally purchase. But there's some cosmetics that we earn for playing through the tale as well. So we actually get to, if we complete the tale, we actually get those cool little Guybrush and Elaine figurines that we can put on our captain ship.
Oh, that's
cool. And we get a picture of the Clocktower. That famous Mêlée Island Clocktower. Look at me. I'm just checking
all the boxes.
I'm checking all the crates.
We're looking for some dog food as well. There we go. Needed that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, who's got the food, Mike? Of course.
Well, yeah. Well, we're definitely going to find that out. But,
I like that.
Should we go up to the lookout? Let's leave the town for a little while.
Let's go up. Let's go up together.
Let's go up, and you get some gorgeous views of the town. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, like this first tale, we've got all of that cool town location. We might maybe get to go to the governor's mansion later if we can go meet Guybrush. We also get to go up to the lookout, and this kind of the reverse of what we're doing now is what you do in the first game. You start the very first game at the top of Lookout Point, and you walk down this rocky ramp. And I'll always remember that this I think this memory's burnt into my brain. But when we were making this very first tale, that when we had our white box level, we were really trying to get that feeling of the world in first person in 3D, and doing the walk from the lookout down to the Scumm Bar seamlessly in first person. Even though it wasn't textured and it was really rough and we're still working on it. I mean, doing that walk for the first time in first person, just honestly, I got butterflies in my stomach. It was just magical.
How amazing.
And that was the first moment. I was like, if we can pull this off, like fans are going to love this.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah. And it seems, they seem to love it, which I'm very pleased about.
Oh man, this is a nice long walk. This is awesome.
Yeah. We're right at the top of that peak at the center of the island. But yeah, we'll get to meet the island lookout. He's a adorable curmudgeon. Here he is. Yeah, and this is the first place you see in the very first game. But Mike, if you look off the back of the island, you'll see the rest of the island shrouded in mist, and you see the little circus tent down there.
Of course.
We'll get to go there in the second tale. But in the second tale, you'll essentially push back this mist, and you'll just get to seamlessly explore the whole rest of the island, including the locations that we're in now for Tale 1.
That's really cool, Mike. What was the thought behind that of like kind of changing it up, right? When we talked about that big pirate fantasy ride that we went on with Pirates of the Caribbean to now kind of refining it and making a little bit smaller experience here on this island, but then pushing it back each time. What was that decision to do that?
Well, I think we really wanted to push the gameplay, so really make it feel authentic to Monkey Island. So trying to get a bit of that point and click feel where you're less taken by the hand as part of something that feels more cinematic. It's really about your exploration and talking to the characters. So the thought process was very much, let's establish that in the town that everybody knows and loves, seeing the Clocktower, entering the Scumm Bar, and establish that new format. But then in the second tale, kind of broaden the scope, broaden the scale, and have that gameplay, but taking place over a huge environment where players have got these separate trials that they need to complete, but they can complete them in any order, and they can split up if they're in a crew. So the first one really is just about establishing that format, and then the second one just increases the scope and scale. So
that's
seeing
cool.
people like really resonate with his first tale makes me so happy, because I think the second tale and the third tale is really going to blow their minds.
Awesome. All right, let's chat it up with the local lookout.
Don't sneak up on me like that. My job, that's what. I'm the official lookout of Mêlée Island, appointed by Governor Squinky Thriftweed himself. It's my job to keep an eye out for storms, incoming ships, and so on, and report them directly to the governor. Well, usually it's guards nowadays. Your ship. No offense, but that's barely a rowboat compared to the sort of ships made famous by the legend of Monkey, the Sea Monkey. Well, now, that was a ship worth talking about. A fearless crew, a gallant captain, and the largest cereal supply you've ever seen.
Okay, that's fun, Mike. You got to have the cereal on the boat.
He's cool. If you look over here, you can see he's got a piece of 8 pouch to your left, Mike. Just sat on the wall there, just here. If you try and steal that.
Hey, get your sticky fingers off my money. Don't think I do.
You speak to him again.
Yikes. Don't
Maybe
speak up
there's
on
something
me
you
like
can
that.
say that can distract him.
You what? A ship, you say? Ooh, this could be serious.
No, take his pieces of 8.
Now we take that, yep. That's good. That's a fun one.
Buy a secondhand spyglass.
So there's lots of, a very small example, but lots of little examples like that, which players have seen in other games, don't get me wrong, but that's that kind of gameplay, that playful little interaction. Never really had that in Sea of Thieves before.
Yeah, no, I really like what you guys are pushing, the exploration, going out and just enjoying where you're at and like uncovering every little mystery that there is. I think this is cool.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure to create. Just the sense that players are going to take varying times to complete this. Some players might speak to every character. They might try and find all those memoir spots. They might just want to take some cool screenshots, exploring Mêlée Island in first person. But yeah, we see wildly different times for players playing through this, which is kind of really interesting. Whereas with some of the Pirates Life Tall Tales and some of our older Tall Tales, like, it's a thrill ride, right? So generally, apart from struggling with certain combat sections, you're going to get through it in a predictable way. But players are playing this in different orders, which I just love.
Yeah, for you talk about seeing streamers and a bigger audience. Has it been fun jumping into streams and seeing people play it completely differently than the way you went about things?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the first day of release, seeing streamers and creators experience that first reveal of the island, and genuinely seeing a few of them like tear up and get emotional because they're fans of Monkey Island. I mean, it made me emotional watching it, genuinely. Just there's nothing beats seeing players play an experience you've created for the very first time. It can be quite nerve-wracking and anxious because you worried about everything working properly. But it's amazing. And just seeing what they're gravitating towards, seeing the bits that they're like, seeing them laugh at the jokes. I mean, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to watch.
Oh,
but yeah, we've got enough pieces of 8 now.
There we go.
Let's go get that. Let's go get that chef's outfit.
I mean, shout out to the local lookout. I apologize for stealing your bag of money, but we needed it really bad.
You're such a pirate, Mike. It comes so natural to you, doesn't it?
I'm getting better every time, Mike. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm getting better.
So yeah, let's see if we can put on a bit of a disguise.
Hi there, fancy pants.
And we'll purchase that. Ooh, look at this. Mike, I like the art on this. This is nice right there.
Cooking up a plan. Right, so there's a little clothing chest over here. So if you take a look in here and you go to tab over to your costumes, you should have one highlighted.
Oh yeah.
You put on the chef's outfit.
Oh, you look good in the chef's outfit. Yep.
There we go.
All right, let's go see what our guy wants. Yeah, this is good. Hired help. That's great. Now, this is fun, Mike. This is a lot of go out and explore an adventure like we've been talking about, something different with all of you. How long is this, right? How many pieces will we see during this first tall tale? And how did you find the right balance of, we want a lot, but not a lot because I want the second and third to feel like more? Or is it always I want them all to be balanced and feel the exact same? What's that like creating that?
Yeah, so this tale, I'd say this anywhere from, I'd say on average, maybe 90 minutes for players who are really kind of watching everything and really switched on and trying to power through it. But I've seen some people take 2.5 hours, 3 hours, maybe more if they're trying to do all the commendations. Broadly, I'd say it's roughly a 2 hour, 90 minute to a 2 hour experience.
Okay.
But
I'm going on my break.
The second tale is definitely a lot more substantial.
Okay.
And the third tale maybe the same again. So this is probably the shortest of the three, but very much trying to give you that playful introduction to this kind of immersive point-and-click gameplay. And look at you there, dicing the onion.
This is fun. Cool. And now is there like...
So yeah, I'll take the onion, I'll whack it into the pot.
Nice. And I'm cutting this up right now. Slice that up for you. There you go. Now, is there a certain time when you talk with Disney of like, oh, you got to hit this amount of time? Or is it strictly, hey, whatever you guys want to create, you make it and have some fun with it? Is there any time rules on this?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, that's the pleasure with working with that team, both Disney games originally with The Pirate's Life and Lucasfilm games. It's really about the idea, the story, the passion we have for it. They saw our passion. They believed in the story that we wanted to tell. They were there with us the whole way, supporting us, you know, pushing us around making it authentic and making things look the way they should. But in terms of the core experience, it's like this has been for us to push forward, which is, like I say, very empowering.
Wow, that's great. And then for you guys as well, inside the studio, is there a certain time, amount of Tall Tales that you guys wanted to do, or is it whatever the story kind of unfolds and creates with all of you?
Yeah, no, FF fans have definitely asked that question, which is like our first set of Tall Tales we ever did back in 2019 was 9. Then we did A Pirate's Life, which was 5. Where for this story, it felt like having a really strong start, an escalation, a kind of a blowout in scope in the second tale, and then a kind of stunning finale. That 3-beat structure just made sense for this story.
Okay.
So again, it's story's king, gameplay's king, whatever makes sense. Don't want to artificially pad it out or make it longer when it doesn't need to be. It's really just giving players a great core experience.
Okay. I see you got your fishing rod out.
Yeah, so we got that kind of we've got the recipe list.
Yep.
In the tale book. So we've got, I think the one thing we're missing is the red herring.
Okay.
So we put the flour in there, we put the root beer sprinkles in. There we go. We put the onion and the leek in. So yeah, it's just the we need to catch that red herring.
Let's cast off and see what we get then. That's great. How's your fishing game in this? Pretty amazing or what? You caught them all?
It's pretty. I wouldn't say I'm there. There's quite a lot of fish to catch. But yeah, on Mêlée Island, you only catch red herrings in classic style. Yeah, hopefully we'll get a bite in a second.
And so now we are a week after release. What is the team up to? It's summertime. Has everybody taken a break? Is everybody back in the studio? What's going on right now with the team?
It is full steam ahead. We've got season 10. To acknowledge it, we delayed that very recently.
Okay.
Definitely a complex feature set that we're trying to land.
Okay.
So we've got that coming up in October. And we've got our second Legend of Monkey Island tale out next month. And the third tale in September. So we've got tale 2 in August, tale 3 in September. We've got our next season in October. We've got more cool content coming in November. So we've just got this huge lineup of content back to back. Actively right now, I mean, my day today has really been focused on the next tale, The Legend of Monkey Island. We're like, as much as players might think it, like we don't hold content back. We are still actively working on the second tale, and it's in a good place. But still lots more polish to put into it and final tweaks to make it the tale it needs to be. And I think we set quite a high bar in this first tale, and because of the added scale and scope of the second tale, we really want to make sure that we hit that quality bar on the whole rest of Mêlée Island. So yeah, that's lots more Monkey Island sleepless nights for me and the team as we head into the rest of summer. But yeah, everybody's having a great time building.
That's wonderful, Mike. That's awesome stuff. Yeah, when you create something like this with the team, is it, hey, let's get it all done and then release it one by one? Is it, hey, let's start working on it and then slowly roll this out? We talk about that games as a service mantra, right? How far ahead do you get? What's the balance for you and the team inside the studio when you talk about this?
It's actually really hard. I mean, I kind of mentioned this to our community before. It's really hard to create content and hold it. Because you imagine we've got our live game, which we're always bug fixing, we're always adding new content to. But it's really hard to hold content back because what you find is it decays. and bugs emerge because the whole rest of the game is changing all the time.
Yes.
So you really need to finish it up and get it out quite quickly. With The Legend of Monkey Island, we wanted to get an extra level of polishing. We wanted to give that space for players to speculate and look forward to what's coming next. So that episodic release just made sense for us.
Wow. And we've
Oh, yeah,
awoken
that
the
looks scary
piranha
now.
poodles is right.
For that. Oh no! They are vicious. They're vicious.
Oh
There
yeah.
you go. What we got here? Skeleton is missing several bones.
Okay, okay. Our story continues, you and I, Mike, but of course we're taking that money right away.
We'll take that. And what we got here? We got some gunpowder gummies.
Okay, okay. Some
If
gunpowder
we,
gummies.
you come with me. I mean, kind of a recurring theme and kind of joke in the Monkey Island games is breaking Otis, the jail prisoner, out of jail.
Yes, of
A little
course.
mental leap players can make is you can actually put those gunpowder gummies into the keyholes. There we go. And then one where Otis is, he's got his little friend there, Captain Coco. He's lost his mind slightly on the trip back from Monkey Island. He's now talking to his friend, Captain Coco, the coconut. So we've got, yeah, so if we look at the lock, it says a gummed up lock, something thin could be stuck inside.
Oh, okay.
A little clue for us.
In.
So yeah,
Not my
don't think we can
sword.
shoot them.
Okay,
Don't think we
can't
can shoot
shoot.
them, but let's take a look in the general store.
Oh, okay, okay.
If
Yeah,
there's
let's go
anything
take a
for us
walk.
in there.
Ahoy there, fancy pants.
You have, my friend, maybe a gunpowder fuse.
Hmm.
Okay, he's kind of got what I'm looking for here. Got a
Yeah, but
mighty pirate sword. I like that, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something you get to use in the second tile. There's something upstairs as well. I'm sure you'll quite like. If you have a look up there, with the little item you'll get to use in the second tale. Fans will recognise.
Of course, of course, I want that. Is right. The rubber chicken, awesome.
Yeah, so we got our gunpowder fuses, but we need 70 pieces of 8. So let's head back to the Scumm Bar.
Okay.
Let's see if we can do anything else pretending to be the chef's assistant.
Ah, yes. I know there's a lot of bags of money there that we need, you and I, Mike.
Right. That's right.
Now, Mike, you do so much with this team, and you have a large team that's all coming together. What were some of the pieces that you really loved that you were maybe, this was me putting my hands on it? Is it always a group effort? Is there pieces that you want to call out from other team members that they were like, hey, they brought this to the table and wowed everybody when we were talking about this?
Oh, I mean, the list is... I mean, as you can imagine, the team's got so much combined experience now. Making Sea of Thieves in some cases for 9 years, since 2014. Original release in 2018, then 5 years of service. Like, the same team members working together, artists that have honed their craft, like a composer, our sound designers, who understand the Sea of Thieves world like no other. I mean, the environment art team, I mean, the challenge of taking a location like this and turning it into an immersive first-person location came with so much responsibility. And the team working on this, I mean, most notably, an incredible artist called James Crosby, who's really taken the vast majority of work on Mêlée Island, working with the team as well, but really the key owner on this island. He's done an incredible job. We've got Joachim, we've got Hannah Smith, Joachim Copens working on Monkey Island and helping out, and so many other artists working on this. And, our audio designers, Katie Tarrant and Guillaume, just bringing this word to life. And of course, Chloe and Robin, Chloe Kwok and Robin Beanland, who are our music composers. Big part of Monkey Island is the music.
Yes.
But so many people across this team doing incredible work. Yeah, pleasure. It's a pleasure to work alongside them on something as ambitious as this.
I did pour myself a couple glasses of grog here, and I will say I'm feeling the repercussions of that while I'm also trying to pour. Yeah. So I'm doing a little bit of both here. That's good.
You got it. So you're filling your tankard with the extra potent grog. Cool.
Get to show off my dope tankard as well, because I got a really cool one over here, Mike. What about you? What kind of cup are you holding? What do you got?
Oh, I've got a little coconut with a slice of pineapple.
That's a good
You've got the
one.
action tankard.
Yes.
Right, I think I need some more. I'm gonna give him some more.
Yep.
Seems to be getting a little bit worse for wear. Yeah, so keep giving them grog. They should get progressively more intoxicated.
Okay. Over there.
Yeah, but so many people across this team. I mean, it really is it's always a team effort. Making something as complex as this. I mean, it really is people doing their best work, working together across engineering, production, design, art, audio. I mean, there's so much love and craft that goes into this. But you know, for all of us as creators working in the games industry, there is no better feeling than setting an ambitious goal, like let's go create Monkey Island in the Sea of Thieves, and just being passionate together and bringing your A game every day to bring it to life. I mean, there's no better feeling. It is the greatest privilege to work with such talented people.
Oh, how great, Mike. That's awesome to hear. And that's well-deserved, well-earned, the team culture and all that. Is it nice? You know, you and I have talked creating during COVID, right? And during that global pandemic of being at home. Now, have you guys opened the doors back to the studio? Are you all back full-time? What has that been like to be back together with everyone as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna steal the Clocktower key as well. I've got one from this guy. Thank you for putting him to sleep. Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, COVID changed everything, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, we were making a Pirate's Life. We made a Pirate's Life, you know, with Disney and Pirates of the Caribbean. We did all of that during the pandemic at home, and I think like that was testament to the relationships that we'd forged together and how much we'd bonded as a team and how much we loved this game. Was we were able to create something so ambitious like a Pirate's Life. We did all of that during the pandemic. But now the worst of that pandemic is over. It's entirely flexible. We've essentially got a hybrid setup where, like lots of us go into the studio quite a lot because it's fun to be there and we live closer. Whereas some people work remotely and all their meetings are hybrid now. We've got people in office rooms but dialing in people remotely. And yeah, I mean, I think we're lucky that we've got that team culture and we've got those relationships where that setup really works for us. But it's such a lovely feeling to know that now, Rare before the pandemic was those four walls. It was that building in Twycross. But now Rare can exist outside of those four walls. We've got people that live in London, people that live in Scotland, that still get to be part of the Rare team and contribute in a cool way.
Oh, that's awesome, Mike. How has that been for you as a leader in the team to now grow past the work from home and now into this hybrid setup? Have you learned a lot of things? Have you grown? Of course, have you failed in some aspects? What has that been like for you, Mike, as a leader growing with this company?
Yeah, it's tough. I think being the risk with being in the office and some people being at home is those kind of sparky, creative conversations where you're really reading people's body language and how they're responding to certain ideas and seeing how excited they get. That's always going to be easier when you're together in the office and you're looking at each other face to face. But like, that's just not the modern world anymore. And if we're going to keep making ambitious games at Rare and keep building Sea of Thieves, we need to embrace the new world that we find ourselves in. So I think the challenge for us has always been, how can we make the most of being in the office, but also we want it to feel inclusive, that people who are on the call with us, they actually feel included. But they're going to miss out on all those kind of like corridor conversations, though. So we have a lot more meetings as a result. But meetings that don't specifically have agendas, but meetings where we can just catch up on the day, like reassess our goals, like share excitement if something's gone well. It's not perfect. It's a real challenge, but it's something that we are getting better at.
That's great. And what about Microsoft as a whole with Team Xbox and Phil and Sarah and Matt Booty? How have they helped you all in this kind of situation? What kind of influences have they brought to maybe help the whole situation?
I mean, I think we've been talking a lot today about Sea of Thieves and like innovation in shared world game design and what Sea of Thieves represents. But I think another thing that I've always valued about Team Xbox and Rare being part of Team Xbox is you will get that forward thinking in the strategy of how we work together. So really embracing, Microsoft Teams, how we work together remotely, how we use new techniques to be able to share ideas and keep everyone invested and included. I mean, that I feel as part of Rare, it's hard for me to comment on other studios, but I'm sure they've got their own version of it as part of first party. Like how flexible it is, Xbox Game Studios. It's just, what do you need to do the best job possible? What do you need as part of Xbox to make the best games possible? And that's what I feel at Rare, and I'm sure that's the case for a lot of other studios as part of first party. Focus should be on making great games, right?
Yeah, that's great to hear.
And removing the roadblocks that stop us from doing that.
All right, Mike. Well, you and I, we're back here. We need to light these fuses. So what do we got to do, Mike? What are we doing?
So yeah, you approach the end of the fuse, and you'll get a little clue, a little helping hand. So if you want to, if you get out your lantern, if you drop the key, we'll use that a little bit later, and then get your lantern out, and let's light up these fuses.
Yes.
Here we go. Let's break him out of jail.
I don't believe it. Freedom after all these years. The smell of the sea, the touch of the moonlight. We are free, Captain Coco. Mwah! Hooray! Now we can do all the things we ever dreamed of. Travel the world, see the pyramids. Open a furniture store. Well, I mean, not that. That's pretty silly, but we can start over, build new lives for ourselves. Like running a furniture store. Hey, enough with the furniture store. I didn't spend all that time locked up just to collect chairs. I want to have an adventure. And I want to sell nested mahogany tables at affordable prices. Hey, that's stupid. You're stupid. You know what? Fine. Stay here and have your stupid furniture store. I hope it makes you happy. I thought we were friends.
I've got to show you. We have with every tool in Sea of Thieves, we always have this non-verbal commands. You can use non-verbal communication. So this is my favourite one. So Captain Coco, let's open a furniture store.
Awesome.
There we go.
Yes. Oh, that's great.
So yeah, we might need to use him a little bit later. But
okay.
Yeah, should we go into the clock tower? We've got the key.
Yeah, let's go up
We'll leave
there.
Captain Coco. We'll come back for him later. But let's head into that famous Mêlée Island clock. So, clock strikes midnight is what we need. So yeah, these doors, you never got to go in them in the first game, but that feeling of let's go behind the scenes, let's go inside a place that you remember but you never saw inside of.
Mike, it's such a nice setting. It's eerie, it's different, not seeing others run around us, right? We kind of talk about that like private area, and this just being you and I here, or maybe myself or the crew. It is so interesting of like, there is no one else around here. It feels so much different. I really like it and enjoy it. I think it's done well for the setting here.
Yeah, I mean, it's always cool to do something we've never done before. And I think Sea of Thieves, as you were talking about those inflection points and those moments where it feels like Sea of Thieves has moved on and we've become more successful. But I think Sea of Thieves has become so rich now. You've got people that love, coin the phrase like PvP or PvE. People love the tall tales, or people love the sandbox gameplay. And I think Sea of Thieves can be all of that. Like if you like pirates, this game should have something for you. And that's really how we think about Sea of Thieves. Let's give you cool pirate experiences and do things we haven't done before. But you're absolutely right. Like being in this kind of private location, sharing it with just your crew, it just takes on a whole different feel. And it honestly supports what we want to do with the gameplay, right? Where we want you to have those story moments and feel connected to the characters and have that all to yourself. Bit more.
How does that look to you? Close?
A bit more. Go. Bit more. There we go.
Is. Yes. Oh, that's perfect to let you know. No questions at all.
We've got another skeletal arm as well.
Yep.
Maybe we can put that
back
together
together.
On the remains in the alley. But should we go speak to the ghostly guard again? We did what he asked, right? We clock struck midnight.
And where do you think you're going? Oh, yeah? Let me see that.
I booked you in for the...
Seems genuine. There. I booked you in for the next available session. Come back and speak to my colleague after the clock strikes midnight. What the... Well, the thing, I can't let you through, because then my colleague, who is unfortunately sorry, but until my replacement arrives for an official handover.
All right, Mike, we got to go get our skeleton. We got to go get a guy.
We have that, so we've got. I'll go put the arm on. Do you want to grab Captain Coco?
Oh, okay.
So what? Yeah, we need a head from somewhere. Where could we get a head from? Where do you reckon?
That's good, Mike. Okay, I was wondering about the head, so that's a good one right there.
Yeah, does that work?
Oh no.
Where else can we get a head from?
Okay, where else can we get a head from? That's a good question there, Mike.
Let's you take Captain Coco. Let's visit the Scumm Bar again.
Okay. Bring Captain Coco with me.
And I'm sure we can find a head.
And were there any wacky ideas that you couldn't do? Right? When you look at this and you play inside of the Monkey Island world, were there wacky ideas where you're like, no, we can't do that, we have to take that out? Or do you find that all of the ideas that you wanted came to life?
Honestly, pretty much. I mean, once we kind of the original story that we pitched to Lucasfilm Games, I mean, they loved it. They believed in their story, and creating the kind of specific designs for this tale and doing the kind of real nitty gritty of like the dependency flow for the puzzles. I mean, this is our original vision. I mean, we pretty much achieved everything we wanted to achieve.
Hey, what are you doing?
There we go.
Knew exactly what I wanted to do there. That's right.
If this is about getting the wood, I'm in. I've got a score to settle. But first, I'll need some kind of body. But not just anybody. A magnificent body, worthy of bearing my terrifying demonic countenance on a new campaign of terror and destruction. Not much in the way of nightlife.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, you go into the church and the jail, take him to the lookout. He'll comment on what he sees.
Well, let's take him into the church really quick and let's hear.
We'll take him into the store. Let's take him to the store.
Okay, that's a great call.
Fancy pants.
He's been unnaturally quiet.
Thank you, buddy. Like the store?
Keep your hands off the display cases.
Take him into the church. Let's take him into the church. Maybe he's got something to say there. It's been quiet now.
Like
What's
that
what's going on there? Hope we haven't found a...
Maybe he needs a body. Maybe he wants to walk around the church.
Maybe. Let's go and put him on the skeleton.
Okay.
Say, that body looks like a good fit for me. Why not let me take it for a test drive, and I'll get you to Guybrush. Nope, can't get her started. Seems to be missing a few necessary parts. Let's see here. I can't rain terror upon my enemies standing on one leg. Find me a femur bone from somewhere so I can stride across their fallen bodies with pride.
All right.
Okay. We need a femur bone. We've got the other arm. Did we leave the other arm in the jail?
I believe we did. I do know I saw that out of the corner of my eye. I believe we have one right there. Yeah.
Got it.
You and I can put that one on.
Ooh. We go in here. Oh no, there's no pieces of it in there. We'll put that on. And then we need to find a femur bone. So yeah, where
those,
do you remember seeing a femur bone anywhere?
I think those piranha poodles maybe took it through that alleyway over there.
Missing a few necessary parts. Let's see here. I can't rain terror upon my enemies standing on one leg. Find me a femur bone from somewhere.
Making sure we didn't miss any pieces of it, did we? So yeah, we need a femur bone.
Femur bone. Who would have a bone here? You and I can take from.
Maybe in the Scumm Bar?
I was going to say maybe back in the kitchen, right? That's a good idea. That will never get old going in. That is so much fun every time. Hey. Back here in the kitchen, not seeing any femur bones. Back with the crew.
Look at this guy over here. What's he got in his mouth?
Oh, yeah. How could I forget, Spiffy? We talked earlier.
So yeah, the little tooltip says something might make this dog give up his bone. So we need to give him something.
The dog want, Mike? What in the world would a dog want?
What would a dog want on Mêlée Island? What do you want? So yeah, if we visit the citizen, maybe he's got something the dog wants.
Gold's no good
I think he wants that cute monkey toy.
That's what I wanted, Mike. I wanted the cute monkey
You
toy.
wanted that. Forget Spiffy.
All right, I'll give it up. Let's do it. Oh man, this is cool looking here.
Let's go take it to him.
You know, a very interesting.
Always put little details in as well. If you drop that and pick it up, it'll occasionally squeak as well. There you go.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool, Mike. That's a fun, well thought out idea right there. That's
all
awesome.
About the little details. Yeah, let's give that to the dog.
Monkey! Don't be ridiculous.
You must think we were born yesterday.
You'll need to do better than that to fool us, Bone Brain.
I appreciate that. That's a good one right there. And now we have our femur bone. We're off and moving right there.
There we go.
Now it's fun, Mike. It's been all about exploration and puzzles. No combat, Mike. Right? No combat at all. You and I have not had to pull out our swords. Had to shoot it all with our blunderbuss. Very interesting here, Mike.
Yeah, it is trying to do something a little bit different that we haven't done before. Not make anything too difficult for players. It be all about the puzzle solving and feeling that satisfying feeling you get when you solve things. But might be a little surprise at the end.
At last, my new reign of demonic terror can... easy now. It's been a while since I had limbs to worry about. All right, here we go. I'm getting the hang of this. Let's get you into that mansion.
Look at that animation. Is fun right there, Mike.
This is actually mocap animation.
Mastery of impersonation.
I was gonna ask you, yes. What is that like building that out in the studio? Is right. I'm sure that's a ton of fun.
It is so much fun. We've actually got the animation team have these. I forget what they're called, but these suits that actors can wear. So rather than having all the little balls on you, it's just a mocap suit they can wear.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, we have a couple of those, and we have an actor come in and act the part, and then I get to share the video around with the team and go, "This is what Murray's going to look like," and everyone laughing and joking about it. A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Island so much and oh, forget it. Get it.
So yeah, this should be the last part of our puzzle to go see Guybrush. Okay. Hopefully he'll let us pass now.
Well, that about does it for my shift. You know what to do. Keep everyone out of the mansion at all costs. No exceptions.
Yeah. Do I tell you how to do your job?
You okay, Walt? You sound weird.
Oh, it's allergies. You know, from the poodles.
Oh, right. Stupid mutts almost took a bite out of me last week.
Our diabolical scheme is working perfectly. Get up to the mansion and find Threepwood. I'll keep watch. It's good to have a body of you. Everyone's
Oh, here we are, the governor's mansion.
There it is.
Let's go see Guybrush. Let you do the honors.
Okay, here we go. You and I were busting through. Wow. Look at this, Mike.
Yeah, it's so different to anything we've done in the game before.
Let us know why I'm here.
It's my grandfather's map, isn't it? You want to find the treasure. Don't you see? You're the only treasure I need, Thunder Bunny. I'm here to rescue you. My hero. Oh, you're the greatest pirate who ever lived.
Not so fast, you mutinous mud skipper. That's my bride to be. I don't think so. The only... Go away, please. Not today, thank you. Important gubernatorial business going on. I told you no more autographs. Leave me alone. Would you be quiet? My wife is sleeping.
Look, Lutikins, we have company. They must want to hear all about your courageous deeds. Oh, but honey pumpkin, I'm busy with my memoirs. I can't be disturbed or I'll miss my deadline. Now, we mustn't be rude. And look, they have a meet and greet ticket.
Oh, all right. Welcome to the official Legend of Monkey Island meet and greet event. Your once-in-a-lifetime chance to hear all the seafaring adventures of the mighty pirate Guybrush Threepwood. Straight from the legend himself. No food or drink permitted during the event. Please keep your hands and feet inside the mansion at all times.
These was right there in the original creative pitch.
Property injury or death incurred during the presentation.
The legend begins right here on Mêlée Island, on the day of my arrival.
The pirate leaders immediately recognized my natural talents. And so did Governor Marley, who was instantly swept off her feet. Unfortunately, there was one pirate who refused to acknowledge my obvious greatness. The ghost pirate LeChuck, who was also smitten with Elaine and spirited her away to the mysterious Monkey Island. Gathering a loyal crew and the finest ship available, I sailed in search of LeChuck's pirate lair. Having single-handedly concocted a powerful root beer to destroy ghost pirates, I cornered LeChuck and gave him the biggest spritzing of his afterlife. I kept the bottle. It's one of my most treasured possessions. Unfortunately, it's true what they say. You can't keep an undead, obsessive, vindictive, demonic sea scourge down. I had to tangle with LeChuck again before finally ridding the world of his evil once and for all. I returned to Monkey Island triumphant, married my beloved Elaine, and we set sail on our honeymoon. Then, why can't I remember? And what was with that weird fog anyway? Once everyone learned of my heroic deeds, they insisted I become governor of Mêlée Island. And that concludes your premium meet and greet session. Cheers.
What we get?
Yeah, Mike, that was fun.
Oh, be sure to check out our exclusive merchandise. We have gifts for the whole family. Oh, and please, leave quietly. My wife is very, very sleepy.
What's the Elaine doll down? She's sleepy. Okay, so he's had some extra strong grog as well. He's asleep now. But yeah, maybe there's someone in the bedroom.
And the detail's amazing, Mike. How much fun to create this. Look at all this.
Honestly, the wallpaper is actually a match for the original as well. And this is like, I know this is a lot, but we've even matched the bedspread. You didn't see a bed in the original game, but we've tied the colours of the bedspread into the wallpaper so it feels faithful. Like, these are the levels we go to. It's a little bit dark in here, so I'll open the curtains. Maybe try approach the bed now. Let's see if that's Elaine.
Of course not. Of course not, Mike.
What we got here? We got a mighty pirate chest key. Look, that's for this chest. Let's open that up. Oh, we got Guybrush's root beer.
Oh yes, of course.
Let's grab one.
Those for me. You got one as well. Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, how cool.
There's treachery afoot.
Man, look how good that ship looks, Mike. Holy cow.
Yeah, if you want to shake your root beer and build up pressure, left. So yeah, the pressure drains when we use it.
Okay.
I'm not giving away what's going to happen next, but
Of course, but I think we know where we're going. Yeah.
Well, what have we here? An unwanted intrusion into my masterful delusion. Threepwood always was pathetically easy to manipulate. Once I'd convinced him he was a mighty pirate hero, his raging ego made all this possible. So long as he believes he's the legend of Monkey Island, he'll never want to leave this place. And it's all thanks to this. Pirates on your precious Sea of Thieves practically tripped over themselves to deliver me this sword.
They couldn't wait to help their beloved pirate lord. It's not about the gold, it's about the glory. Oh, the Sea of Thieves is such a special place, where sickeningly sweet stories can last for all eternity.
And once this burning blade is restored, those waters will be mine to rule as I see fit. So you see, I really can't let you stand in my way. Fortunately, my skeletal shipmates have gotten mighty restless, keeping watch on Threepwood. I'm sure they'll take good care of you while I set sail for Monkey Island.
Oh.
Here they come, Mike.
How rad, Mike. That was really well done. That was cool.
Spray him.
What are you doing?
Okay, a fun little touch on the combat. I like this. This is cool.
Can't stop us all.
Oh, you got 2 streams from us then.
Not bad. This is cool. This is fun. The whole town also missing right now, though.
Yeah, that's it.
Escaping LeChuck. Anything but that.
Ah.
Okay. Hey, right when I said that, all right. Maybe a door's opened.
Thanks to you, LeChuck has withdrawn, and root beer has rid this place of his evil influence. The power of Mojo can return at last. We have much to discuss, but I sense you may have unfinished business here on Mêlée Island. When you are ready to depart, return to me here. I shall be waiting.
Optional objectives. We could go find the memoir spots. We could go searching for more pieces of 8, buy the history book. But yeah, this gives time for players to explore, and when they're ready, they can speak to Karina, the voodoo lady, and the tale.
Learned, the memory of this island has become a prison for Guybrush. A cage crafted from his own vanity and given life by the Sea of the Damned. He is so beguiled, he does not even notice the absence of his wife. But Guybrush and Elaine are not the only ones in peril. LeChuck has come to know the Sea of Thieves and envies the power and status of its pirate lord. If he is not stopped, then he will continue to seek that power for himself. But LeChuck's lair lies deep beneath Monkey Island, and only Guybrush knows the way. Do not lose hope. There is a way to clear the head and free the heart of Guybrush Threepwood. But it will take time to prepare. There are those in the living world who will wish to know all that you now know. I shall send them word of my plan, and when the time is right, I sense they will seek your help once more. For now, I shall return you to your ship. Guybrush owes you a great debt of gratitude. Next time we meet, I shall make certain he repays it.
There we go, Mike.
Mike!
That's the first tale complete, and setting us up for the second tale where we need to break the curse of Guybrush Threepwood.
What an awesome journey together, Mike. I really appreciate your time and you taking me through the first tall tale of 3. Still so much more to go. An awesome amount of detail and love put into this, and getting to spend the time and talk with you is so much fun, Mike. So thank you so much for your day today.
No, you're very welcome. That was a pleasure taking you through that.
Yeah, that was
Great.
awesome.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I loved it, and I hope that the audience getting to watch out there loved it. And of course, you can go play it for yourself. And as Mike said, right, we're still rolling out the content. We are far from done. The next 2 tall tales drop when, Mike?
Yeah, so that we've got Tale 2 dropping next month in August, and then the final tale in September. So every month we continue the story.
We are back on the Sea of Thieves, you and I, Mike. Our tale continues, but of course, this tale is now done. We will see you back here for more Kinda Funny content anytime on youtube.com/KindaFunnyGames. Until then, thanks, best friends, for watching. We'll see you later.